Our story starts off with our MC Ming He, who is speeding through traffic on his motorcycle as he recalls the events from earlier on in the day. Today was Ming He's big day, as it was the superhuman school entrance examination. They would be testing the students for what tier of superpowers they had within them. 5 tiers consisted of white dust, blue spirit, violet soul, red royal, and sacred black being the highest tier. The school would only be accepting the blue spirit tier or higher, but unfortunately, our MC ironically got the bad luck of the draw with the white dust, the lowest tier. At least the orb that identified his power didn't talk back like the sorting hat. But to pair with his utter disappointment, Ming He overheard his classmates chastise that he was one of the only few that had the white dust superpower. His crush was also there to share the embarrassing event. It's fair to say Ming He was having one of the worst days of his life. Coming to terms, he was set to live a below-average life. Thinking to himself that luck is his superpower was utterly useless, till something caught his eye. It was a comet blazing through the sky close by. With his luck, Ming He thought there was no way a comet would hit him, so he thought. As he drove past it, Ming He looked behind him, noticing that the comet was heading straight for him. Before he could react, the comet crash-landed on top of Ming He, knocking him off his bike and leaving him lying in a huge crater. But our MC luck didn't run out. It seems that there was a blue energy entering his body. There seems to be something or someone within the energy analyzing Ming He's body. It entered his memories and started to merge with him. Realizing he was weak and possessed no fighting capabilities, the entity bestowed powers onto Ming He, boosting his superhuman capabilities to royal red. It appears that Ming He is now a highly capable fighter after the upgrade, and the entity seemed to be satisfied with the results. We transition to a hospital with Ming He on life support due to the comet crash. Dr. Zhao confirmed with a nurse our MC would be in a coma that would last a while. Another nurse calls for the doctor to test some monster blood. A few days go by. His crush, Lu Qian, comes to visit, leaving him flowers and a note. After a month, Ming He's classmates paid him a visit. Despite knowing his desire to become superhuman and being upset by it, they still held him responsible for the accident. They hoped for his recovery so that he could lead a normal life and find a job, as his medical expenses were putting a strain on his sister. One of his classmates, who disliked Ming He due to her interest in Lu Qian, tore up the note that was left for him. Only our MC would be lucky enough to have his biggest hater visit him on his deathbed. A year later, large insect-like creatures are seen emerging from the sewers outside the hospital. Emergency sirens and calls can be heard in the vicinity, warning the public of the presence of mutant monsters. In the midst of the chaos that broke out in the hospital, everyone scrambled to safety, but the nurse who was attending to Ming He stayed behind to help him. As she rushes in, grabbing on his wrist, trying to shake him awake, she feels the presence of one of the mutant cockroaches behind her. Non-consensually, the monster starts to lick all over the nurse's face, wrapping its insect claws around her from behind. Then suddenly, out of nowhere, our MC hands clench into a fist, delivering a devastating punch to the mutant. An enormous explosion emanated from the room, visible from outside the hospital. The shockwave was so powerful that it penetrated multiple rooms, leaving a gaping hole. The monster's body was left slumped over on the ground, only half remaining. The hero who had awoken tells the nurse that the monster is dead, expressing gratitude for her care during his coma. He asks why there were mutant cockroaches at the hospital, and the nurse explains that polluted fluid entered the sewers, mutating the parasites living there. Other residents moved to a safe location, but she didn't want to leave him behind. She asks how was he able to kill a monster with one punch since he is just a student, to which he nervously responds that he has been practicing his technique for a whole year, leaving the nurse confused. He suggests moving to a safer location, but the hallway is filled with mutated monsters. He tells the nurse to wait in the room while he fights off the monsters with another powerful punch, killing multiple. Ming He swiftly dispatches the remaining mutants with ease, utilizing his formidable strength to defeat them in a single blow. As one of the mutants advances towards the nurse, our MC spots a bottle of acid nearby and smashes it with his fist, revealing a new ability, Acid Punch, and he defeats the enemy from a distance, saving the nurse. A new power to us, but our MC confirms that he has been training the entire time he was in the coma. The nurse, completely mesmerized by Ming He, wonders how he failed the entrance exam when his power exceeded pyro-rank superhumans. Ming He asks what's in the fluid that makes the mutants so scary, but the nurse reminds him that there are other things living in the sewers besides cockroaches. We shift to a scene of a bus full of people crashing on a bridge that has been overtaken by mutant cockroaches. Passengers screaming for help hear a gunshot suddenly go off, and a superhuman arrives to rescue them. The superhuman, with his pyro rank abilities, efficiently eliminates a horde of roaches with his unlimited supply of bullets. But suddenly he hears a screeching sound behind him, only to see a giant mutant rat. The rat viciously attacks him, causing chaos on the bridge. The passengers on the bus watched in horror as the superhuman is devoured by the monstrous rat, as they scream desperately for help. Ming He and the nurse escaped from the hospital and made it outside. They witnessed the chaos ascending upon the bus as they heard a walkman detailing the situation on the Nanchang Bridge. Our MC asked the dispatcher how he could defeat the giant mutant rat, to which the dispatcher responded with fire. However, the dispatcher dismissed his help, saying that he was only a student and should run for safety. Ming He, grateful for the residents who took care of him while he was in a coma, decided to help them instead. He saw that the passengers were in imminent danger, so he told the nurse to hide and wait for him. He assured her that he needed to be brave and help those in need because he could not stand by and do nothing while people were in danger. Jumping into the fray, Ming He lands a decisive blow on the mutant rat. Up close, he realized the rat was the size of a building with giant claws. He knew he couldn't take a hit from it or he would die. Even though the rat was agile, Ming He continuously dodges its attacks, leading it away from the bus. Ming He finally got an opening to land a powerful punch, knocking the rat to the ground. Walking towards it to land the final blow, the rat is playing dead, luring him in to attack again. Still dodging, Ming He realizes his attacks aren't enough for this general rank monster. He baited the rat into destroying vehicles all around him, hoping to wear it down. Ming He, remembering what the dispatcher said about fire, takes out a lighter, taking advantage of the gas leaking from the cars surrounding the giant mutant rat with fire. Letting the flames engulf his hand, Ming He clenches his fist, fusing his power with the fire and getting ready to let loose one of his special attacks. He curses at the rat, unleashing his blazing punch, completely destroying it and the surrounding area, leaving nothing behind but scorched earth. Much to their surprise, all the residents cheered for his victory as they were saved. Not remembering his name, Dr. Zhao asks the nurse, and she responds with our unlikely hero name, Ming He. But I would call him the Exterminator. Back at the command station, Lu Qian receives a call that the rat was dead, so she didn't need to go to the bridge anymore. Even though our MC's superpower is supposed to be luck, his reunion with his school crush is delayed. Lu Qian asked who had killed the monster, wanting to thank them personally, but the idea that it could be our MC is thrown out the window. Considering they haven't found the source of the pollution, they decided to seal up the area and leave. At the rescue station, the nurse is attending to Ming He's injuries, thanking him. Ming He's sister pleads with the guard to let her pass, believing he's still unconscious inside the hospital. The guard refuses, unaware that Ming He made it out. She begins to sob, thinking he might be dead, and hasn't even felt a woman's touch as the nurse is bandaging up his fist, leaving Ming He with a speechless expression. Her endearing love sure makes him seem pathetic. She vows to save him, and if not, follow him to his grave. Moments later, she realizes Ming He is standing right next to her and embraces him. He held her as he thought about the past year and how dedicated she had been to taking care of him. He apologized for making her worry as she cries in his arms. Ming He woke up in his own bed for the first time in a long time. His sister left him food and a note saying she had to go back to work to pay his medical bills. Feeling guilty, he decided he needs to start earning money right away to improve the quality of his sister's life. Still wasting her money, Ming He spat out his food in surprise when he saw the announcement on TV. A bounty reward for the source of the polluted fluid and a mutant cockroach? This was his chance to make a shit ton of money and help his sister, improve her quality of life, but first he had to dig deeper and do some investigating on the polluted fluid. Ming He headed to the bounty hall and spoke to the receptionist. She asked him to display his superpowers in an examination to accept the bounty for the mutated cockroaches. This should be an easy side mission for our MC, as he had already defeated dozens of roaches back at the hospital. She takes him to the training venue and asks him to punch a robot test dummy to evaluate the strength of his power. 800 kilograms being the standard, Ming He prepares to go all out. He delivers an incredible blow to the test dummy, revealing his punching power to be 1,000 kilograms. Disappointed his power level wasn't over 1,000, he still shocks everyone in the room because he broke the previous record. In the reception hall, she hands him a shopping cart as a reward for breaking the record, and lets him know he can keep earning rewards if he breaks more records in other examinations. Our MC, feeling motivated, decides he only needs to focus on getting stronger to reap these rewards. Ming He heads outside and sees a gathering of superhumans. Superhuman Luo Kai Xuan comes up to him asking if he wants to be part of the Crimson Eagles. Superhumans below Sunblaze rank aren't allowed to bounty hunt alone, but they rescind their offer because Ming He is only a Starlight rank rookie. Luo Kai Xuan suggests that he gets stronger or he will be walking to his death. No one was willing to team up with Ming He until his old classmates spotted him. Lin Yu and the others greeted him, surprised to see him out of the coma. Ming He explained that he needed to hunt mutant cockroaches to pay his medical bills. Shui Zheng, his biggest hater, berated him, saying that his power was useless and that he would never be able to do it. Lin Yu told the group that Ming He was their old classmate and that they should help him. Although his classmates still looked down on him, thinking he was still the same, they agreed to let him join their team. They compared him to a lucky mascot, but they accepted him nonetheless. Lin Yu explained that they had been studying at the Superhuman Institute for the past year and were planning to help with the pollution as a summer extracurricular activity. Ming He asked if Luo Xian had joined their group, but Shui Zheng made a snide comment, saying that she was a star of the institution, a powerful high-ranking superhuman who wouldn't hang out with them because they couldn't keep up. Lin Yu mentions Ming He's perfect scores in class and if he had any hints about the source of the pollution. Yet again, Shui Zheng criticizes that Ming He's scores didn't matter because of his lack of combat ability, saying they were only students and wouldn't find the source. Ming He remembered the report about the 3 forms of mutant monsters: mutant cockroaches, mutant maggots, and large mutant rats, all parasites that dwell in the sewers affected by the pollutant, making it a mutant hotspot. The mutant roaches were not difficult to deal with except for the giant mutant rats. However, the maggots should be an easy kill, so he thought. Then, out of nowhere, a giant insect hand attacks Ming He and Lin Yu from behind, knocking her to the ground. Getting up, they both turn around to escape as she screams for everyone to run. One maggot is not a threat, but they seem to organize to feed as a collective group. Arrogantly, Zhu Jing asks everyone what they're so afraid of until he sees the giant formation of maggots and starts to haul ass towards a building with reinforced glass. As they were running, Ming He asks, "Where is Lin Yu?" Wang Xiaodun responds back that she tripped. Ming He yells in outrage, why didn't they save her? Running back to help her, Lin Yu yells back at him to stop, afraid that he will die. He responds back that classmates help each other and he continues to move forward. Ming He punched the fire hydrant with his quick thinking, and in the same motion fused his fist with the water to create a whirlpool effect. He unleashed one of his signature attacks, the explosive wave punch, sending a massive force from his hand. It didn't kill all the maggots, but it saved Lin Yu. Helping her to her feet, she was completely mesmerized by his strength, and couldn't believe that this was the same Ming He she knew. In that moment, he became her knight in shining armor. But she knew this would be unrequited love because she believed that his heart still belonged to Luo Xian, but is grateful he didn't leave her behind. Upon returning to the group, everyone expressed their relief that Lin Yu was unharmed. Although they claimed they were coming to her rescue, it was clear that they were lying. Ming He requested that they tend to Lin Yu's bruises caused by the corrosive secretion of the maggots, and suggested applying an ointment. Lin Yu assured him that she would be fine, so he elects to inspect the rest of the building and prevent any more maggots from entering. Wang Xiaodun scolds the rest of the group for not being as cautious as Ming He, who was rejected by the institution. Following the blueprint of the building, he went to check all the vivariums in the laboratory. He noticed that insects from Vivarium 9 have been missing for nearly half a year, and the case was awaiting investigation. He wondered if the pollution would affect these domesticated insects, but Ming He still thought that the mutated organisms were only coming from the sewers. However, as he left the area, he stepped on a paper foreshadowing something even more vile. Ming He checks the back door to make sure it was locked, but then he saw Dr. Zhao outside alone. He wondered what Dr. Zhao was doing in the area, since it was dangerous for a non-superhuman to be there. His phone started ringing from an unknown caller. It was Nurse Song from the hospital he had saved. Our MC has quickly become the hottest bachelor in town since he woke up. She invites him to dinner, but Ming He didn't even recognize her voice at first. The nurse freaks out when she hears that Ming He is in the isolated area, but he told her that he was there bounty hunting. Still asking him questions while undressing, she finds out that Ming He and his sister aren't blood-related. Ming He redirects the conversation by telling her that he had spotted Dr. Zhao in the isolated area. The nurse was also confused about why Dr. Zhao was there, but she said that he has been acting out of character for the past year. It all started when Dr. Zhao was asked to test a sample of Calamity Beast blood, and he somehow lost it. Ming He has a flashback to a class he had taken and remembered that Calamity Beast blood mutates when it touches oxygen. This could possibly be the source of the pollution. Nurse Song also confirms that it has been roughly close to a year since Dr. Zhao lost the blood. Ming He's eyes widens in realization. The incubation time for the mutation. This couldn't be a coincidence. Dr. Zhao had lied about the blood and was in the isolated area trying to fix his mistake. It appears that our MC Luck superpower and detective skills are working in tandem. Ming He tells Nurse Song to contact the officials, and he would follow Dr. Zhao to stop him from getting too close to the pollution source. Ming He, walking back to the group, tells them that the building is sealed shut and they're safe. He tells them to stay and rest here because he has something to take care of. Lin Yu calls after him, saying it's too dangerous, but the door closes behind him before he can hear her. Ming He saw the maggots outside, but isn't worried as they should be out of commission for a while. In pursuit of Dr. Zhao, he takes a shortcut and gets crowded by a group of mutant cockroaches in an alley, but he finishes them off with ease, leaving nothing but their dismembered bodies behind. Hiding behind a corner, he sees Dr. Zhao enter an abandoned building. As he followed closely behind, he came across a large manhole inside the building, with a ladder leading downwards. Cool guys don't use ladders, so our MC jumps down, landing on his feet. He initially believed he would be protecting Dr. Zhao, but as he persists in tailing him, matters appear to be more complex than he had anticipated. Ming He found Dr. Zhao climbing the tower of the Lanyang water supply. He caught Dr. Zhao completely off guard and demanded to know what he was doing and what happened to the beast blood. Dr. Zhao was shocked that Ming He knew about the beast blood from a year ago. He climbed down the tower, uncontrollably shaking and trying to explain that he didn't know at first. He stuttered as he pleaded his case, saying that he didn't mean to conceal the truth. He argued that he was a doctor who saves lives, and he didn't know that his carelessness would cause mutations. He only came to check if the water supply was polluted, since this was where the blood was lost. In the most dramatic fashion, his eyes bulging, the doctor screams that he wants to make amends. Ming He advises Dr. Zhao to report the incident to the officials as he is not superhuman. Clinging to Ming He, Dr. Zhao begs him for help, reminding him that he was a witness to his heroic acts when he saved everyone at the hospital. Overcome with despair, the doctor falls to his knees. He expressed his fear of losing his job and possibly going to jail, which would mean he wouldn't be able to support his wife and kids. Ming He tried to comfort the doctor, telling him to calm down. He explained that there was only so much he could do, but that the best course of action was to report back to the officials so that the mutation didn't continue to spread. "Report to the officials," Dr. Zhao mutters under his breath. Realizing that Ming He had not yet reported to the officials, a villainous grin spread across the doctor's face. Slowly rising to his feet, the doctor calls him naive and admits that the blood is here, but he didn't lose it. Ming He's suspicions of the doctor were confirmed at that moment. He knew that the doctor was up to something, but he didn't know what. He decided to stay wary of the doctor and watch his every move. Dr. Zhao goes on a rant about how the parasites and insects in the sewers are harmful to society and how people want to eradicate them. He compares this to how humans are recklessly producing and destroying the planet. Ming He agrees with Dr. Zhao that we do need to protect the environment. The doctor then expresses his belief that the creation of life in the universe is a mistake and that the universe would be better without it. His tone becomes increasingly erratic as he compares humans to cancer cells that divide and infest the planet, growing more with each generation. His voice rising to a crescendo, he argues that there is no distinction between humans and cancer cells. According to him, humans have a detrimental impact on the galaxy's immune system, and their existence would prevent peace and beauty from prevailing. Ming He told the doctor that his sentiments sounded anti-human, but he still didn't fully grasp what he was trying to say. The doctor then compared the universe to a human body being sick and the body's immune system trying to eliminate the sickness. Grabbing Ming He by the arms, he told him that the calamity beast blood, catastrophes, and disasters were the wills of the universe. Veins popped out of the doctor's head as he spoke, his eyes looking wild. He declared that the universe was trying to purge the human race. Ming He responds to the doctor that he has gotten completely off topic. This is about people dying from the mutated monsters. Personally, I would have lost my mind if this was someone's response after a rant like that, but our MC has come to the conclusion that the doc is already insane. According to the doctor, the individuals who were killed by the mutation were not a mistake. The doctor passionately proclaims that just as he helps sick people, he is also the doctor of the universe. He expresses his intention to help the universe eliminate humans, as he believes they are no different from the vermin that inhabit the sewers, and laughs maniacally. He claims at first it was just an experiment. The people of Lanyang would be his first victim, but then he would continue his conquest to the other metropolitan areas. He tosses his shattered glasses aside and repeats his belief that the Earth is sick and needs to be treated. He insists that humans need to be eliminated. But before he can carry out his devious plan, he will take care of Ming He, thanking him for being so naive. Ming He asks the doctor how is he going to carry out his master plan when the area is under lockdown and the mutation won't spread. Dr. Zhao starts to rave that they can't block the water supply pipes. Water contaminated with the mutated source can spread through pipes during daily activities such as bathing and washing groceries. It results in the mutated water ending right back into the sewers, potentially mutating all the organisms. Coming to terms that the doctor is a monster himself, Ming He quickly thinks of an escape plan. Playing dumb, he tells him he doesn't understand what he's saying, so he is leaving. Completely taken aback, the doctor asks him why isn't he going to stop him. He saved the people at the hospital, isn't he a hero? He responds that he actually fears for his life, not even qualified to be a hero, waving goodbye. The doctor commends him for his intelligence in avoiding interference. He confidently asserts that even if the officials were to arrive, it would be too late as he reaches into his jacket. The vial containing the Calamity Beast's blood is gone. Upon discovering that Ming He had stolen the vial before leaving, the doctor's face contorts with rage. His body starts to undergo a transformation, muscles ripping through his clothes as he fully becomes a grotesque beast. He screams for the return of his blood. We really have to give a round of applause for these two acting performances, but in the end our MC stole the show. Ming He observes the doctor's deformed body chasing after him and realizes that stealing the vial of blood was the right decision. The doctor summons rat-like creatures from his shoulder and orders them to attack Ming He. Upon reaching the exit, he tries to escape through the ladder, but one of the mutated monsters cuts it, preventing him from leaving. The creatures converge on Ming He, but he manages to dodge one and uses the others as a springboard to jump out of the manhole. He quickly uses his superpower of elemental extraction on the nearby concrete to seal the manhole, preventing the creatures from pursuing him. Undeterred, the doctor claims that he can still smell the beast blood because it is coursing through his body and vows not to let him escape. The monster's strength is predetermined before their mutation, with maggots being the weakest, followed by cockroaches and then rats. Our MC's toughest fight was against the large mutant rat, and the thought of a human being mutated fills him with worry. Sprinting through an alleyway, Ming He comes to terms with the fact that he's no match for the mutated doctor. As he turns the corner, he pauses for a moment, realizing that he can't head back to Lin Yu and the others out of fear for their safety if Dr. Zhao catches up to him. Deciding to change his route, Ming He settles on prolonging the chase until the officials arrive to retrieve the beast blood, relying on Nurse Song.
Thank you for watching Manhwa Junkies. Don't miss out on the next episode of this series. Consider liking, subscribing, and turning on notifications to stay updated. Your next dose is on the way.